Hey guys, Jesse here from the Subi Sanctuary, and today I have a really cool video for you. What we are going to be doing is highlighting a new product that we're going to be carrying here. In the background here you can see the actual 22B, and it is very much related to this new product that we're going to be carrying and installing. And then here's why we wanted the 22B in the background. We have here a replica, a very good replica 22B metal quarter panel. This is super duper cool. This came from zettengarage.com. I will put a link down in the description there. So in Canada, if you do need to get a hold of these panels, we are your guys. The front fenders as well are on the way in metal also. And the objective of this video today is we're going to drape these on a stripped coupe that we have here and then go over with a quick comparison to an actual authentic 22B. So on the other side of the 22B, here we have a car that we're actually putting a completely different body kit on, but this is a great car in this state to use as a comparison because we're able to drape on the quarter panels unobstructed. So this car is very stripped down, more stripped down than you would typically do to put on a body kit, but for this particular kit, that's just kind of how it ended up. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and slap this guy on, and then we're going to slap on the other one. Then we're going to pop open the doors in the trunk on the actual 22B, and then go over how good this replica actually is. So I'd like to first highlight the lip edge there. That is a crucial component. As well as along the trunk there, we have a beautiful edge. Then the taillight pocket as well. Really nice wheel lip, very authentic underneath of the skirt, even down to the impressions where the side skirt clips would go. And we got a super cool Z. Then just like that, guys, we are on the car. I wouldn't say this car is 100% prepped for this quarter panel, but like I said, this is a really good reference to get an idea and to be able to compare this replica 22B quarter panel to the actual 22B. So now we'll go around the quarter panel. I'll kind of show you the material that they have extending to facilitate this install being just like an OEM install. So again, guys, bear with me. This car is not 100% prepped for this quarter panel. This is just an example, but it really does give you a good idea of what you're gonna get with these panels. So there you can see the taillight pocket on our aftermarket panel, slipping right over our existing taillight insert. Then up along here, we have our lip going right over top of our trunk jamb. Then if you guys were unaware, the 22B actually has a larger fuel door than the conventional GC8s. So here we have from Zetten as well the fuel door pocket. So it actually goes like that. He does supply this, and he also actually supplies the fuel door cap itself, because this is really unique, again, only exclusive to the 22B. I'm gonna slip this guy in the back here just to give you an idea. There we go. But that is really nice. We're just gonna let that guy rest there. On this panel, we cut off right about here, so you would typically want to butt weld this here, so you would end up cutting that right along, weld it across. The OEM panel went a little higher up. It went to here. I only know that because I've completely taken apart the 22B, so I saw the very human welds underneath of here for the OEM quarter panels. This section here, we have it removed for the kit that we're putting on this car. That is how we have to do it. For this particular panel, you would leave this material yet again, and you would go along here and butt weld it. Then into our wheel well there, we do have a beautiful lip all the way along this. And then as well as into the rear apron section for the rear bumper, so you have lots of material to attach your bumper to there. Again, on the original 22B, if you look back in our earlier videos when we take the 22B apart, you can see they used like shears along here to cut this wheel lip, and then they just kind of put a little bit longer piece there. That is open to interpretation as to however you want to actually do it. I would, for the most part, follow the way that they did it on the 22B, possibly remove this whole section and then put a new wheel arch that goes all the way to there. This is the original wheel well, and you can see someone's just cut it with some tin snips. And then this is the additional wheel well that's been added on to compensate for the width. Then along the bottom here we have a beautiful pinch weld. And then for the door profile, our doors don't even actually have a latch. This car is completely stripped. The B pillars are completely gone, as well as the actual latch. So I don't really have anything to put this door in its appropriate location. But where it is sitting at right now, the profile on this is absolutely perfect. All right, so now we're gonna go over to the 22B. I'm gonna do a couple back and forths. We're gonna go into the fuel door section. We're gonna go into the trunk jamb, the door jamb, and the wheel lip as well. That will give you an idea of how accurate this panel actually is against the real thing. Here we are over to the real deal. Shout out to Alan and Chris, the co-owners of this car currently. I appreciate you guys letting me use this for a video here. And then here we are in the trunk jamb of the 22B. So you can see they actually have a flap that extends outward rather than just right down. It actually doesn't look super amazing. I would kind of prefer if it kind of stopped there, but this is just what they were doing at the time. As for along here, you can see, pull that off. You can see here, it extends right to this very corner. And then you can see a very crude ending right there. So that is not far off from what we've got up there, except for I feel like if it did just end here, it would kind of look a little cleaner. And I'm sorry that I'm kind of ripping on the 22B versus some aftermarket panels, but there is some spots that are plus and minus on both of them, so I just want to go over everything. Then you can see here, the lip does continue down, and then it does have some obscure jagged kind of spots. And then the lip does continue down to there. And it is the same going through the taillight pocket. I only know just because I've taken this whole car apart. And then for the most part, they've kind of done a finger bang of seam sealer along there. And that's pretty much all you need. Again, the 22Bs were put together by humans. So we're gonna go ahead, close our trunk there. Move on. All right, we're gonna get our door open here and we can go over the section into the door jamb here. So in the door jamb section here, the factory panel does extend a little bit further than our aftermarket panel. You can see its edge there, which in most places works out to be probably 1.5 inches in distance into the jamb. I wouldn't say that one looks any better than the other. Our aftermarket panel ends right at this lip, which is actually going to be nice as well, because then you won't have this very obvious bump. You can kind of bury it right up against this edge here. Down into the bottom here, you can see again, this is the most human looking spot on the car. When I had the rocker covers off of this car, you're actually able to see right about here is where the 22B panel ends. And then it would have went down like that, just like the one we have over there. And very, very human welds. So here you can see the little 22B skirt cap, I call it. There is actually a provision on the aftermarket panel to bolt these on. Obviously you can't buy this skirt cap, but there is a fella who has made a file to print them. And now I've had a bunch of these printed and I've already been using them for 22B replica builds. And it actually is a great solution because all of the 22B skirts that I have also have this big open cavity at the back. And without this skirt cap, it kind of looks goofy if you don't do anything to fill it in. So these are really cool. I'll try and link the fella's name in the description for this video, and you guys could reach out to him because I'm not quite sure if he wants to sell the file or if he is just giving it away to people. And 10 out of 10, the replica ones that he had made that I had 3D printed are fantastic. Moving up there, our wheel lip is almost identical to the aftermarket panel there. I feel like the material on the OEM one is a little bit thicker going into the wheel well, but I don't think most people would complain about that because a lot of people are probably going to be running some sort of different setup as far as their wheels. So you can see there, it's not bad. I mean, I wouldn't prefer one over the other. Again, you can go and tailor your wheel lip to what suits your build. Then here we are. So you can see the fuel door is quite large compared to a typical GC8. A lot of people did not know that. There we are, open. Here's another really unique feature that you guys are gonna have to work around is the length of the catch to the latch in there. I will bring you out to a Type R that I have here, and I'll show you the difference in not only the fuel door size, but also the distance in that latch there. Inside the fuel door pocket, you can see the recess on the Zeton one versus the OEM one is like an 100% replica. He did a really good job. He has the nut certs already in there for all of this. This, same as a standard GC8 when I go and compare to the Type R I have in the back in just a moment there. All right, so there we have fuel door pocket. Fuel door, which currently at the moment I do not have the fuel doors with me. Then we have our wheel lip. There's, for size reference, it is actually pretty much bang on. Then into our rear bumper apron, down into our pinch weld, which you can't see in this video on the 22B, but I might pop in a clip from when I took it all apart. Our beautiful taillight pocket. We can show you our inner. Again, we are missing our whole entire B pillar here, so we don't have much in terms of the overlap, but with the distance here, you can get the idea of where it's gonna work out. So like I said, it will hit that first little bump in your B pillar, and it should actually turn out quite nice with that being the end point for it. So as for the actual construction of these panels, they are done in the same gauge steel as the actual car. And these are also actually galvanized, which is another bonus. They are galvanized coated, so they are still really easy to weld, but they preserve very well as well. Then over here on the floor, I do actually have the other side panel. And again, I just figured we would do the fuel door side because it's a great reference and it's kind of got a lot more going on. This panel we have test fitted as well, fits just as good as the other side. All right, so back here we have this Type R STI. It's actually pretty cool because this is what they would have made the 22Bs out of. This is a version 3 Type R, so it would be the first Type R they ever made. So there's my hand in reference in terms of size. It's kind of from the top of my fingertip right down to the bottom of my palm. Then we're gonna go ahead, pop this guy open and show you the difference inside there. So here we are with the Type R gas door open, and you can see what I mean there. See the distance between the latch spot and the actual fuel door? So that is going to be something you're going to have to improvise for. That should be pretty simple. Please forgive me on the cleanliness of this poor Type R. It has actually been sitting since 2013. So I recently had rescued this car, and this is the first time I've opened the gas door on it. If you guys want to see more on the poor abandoned STI Type R that I rescued recently, let me know in the comments there, and we'll bring her in, give her some attention, and show you guys what we got going on here. And then from there, again, this being a standard GC8, the fuel cap pocket is the same, other than the whole pocket exterior, the metal part, is actually significantly recessed on the 22B. So that was something I just wanted to highlight so that people are aware when they go to put their car together. You are going to need to facilitate some provisions in this area. He does supply the 22B style fuel door, and then he does supply the insert as well. So that gets you more than halfway there already. There we are, pretty cool. All right, so I'm just heading back into the shop now. We're gonna get that panel off the car and pretty much wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little comparison. Stay tuned for when the fenders come out. We will definitely do a little comparison as well. We have almost every brand of 22B or WRC style wide body kits for the coupes here. We have the Aerosim carbon fiber. This car is actually getting the ABW's carbon fiber P25 kit. Then upstairs we also have the Lawn Sport 22B kit. And lastly, the body kit online store kit. So if anyone is good at comparing body kits on a first-hand experience basis, we are definitely the dudes for that. All right guys, thanks for watching. Hope you found this video informative. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. And till the next one, happy Subaruing. Stay tuned for the fender update. And also as well, if you need to reach out with any questions, concerns, by all means, go ahead. And to further that, within Canada, we are the distributor for these Zeton 22B metal panels.